In this photo visualizer video, we are going to be looking at some of the more obscure material texture commands, how to embed your own background photos into visuals, and also exploring how to create other interesting outputs from Photo Visualizer. We're going to be starting with the Plans Express drawing we first introduced in part 1 of this series. To transfer the model into Photo Visualizer, make sure that you have all components selected so that the entire model is transferred to Photo Visualizer. Select the 3D Photo Visualizer button. The model then appears, and as you can see, I have already had this open in a previous session. Note that Photo Visualizer has also brought in the 2 snapshots from the previous sessions, along with the snapshots LWX file from the relevant folder. Let's suppose we want to change this render. Click on the Materials tab, select a different colour, drag it onto the drawing. Now that is a flat finish which we wish to make look more like a render. We can do that by applying a texture to it. Locate the Textures button at the top right of the screen. They call it bumps. Locate plasters. There's a variety of different textures. I'll go for a strong texture and drag it onto the drawing. If we now render that quickly, you can now see that there's a gentle texture applied to the render. If I want to apply that texture to all the walls, I can use the dropper command. Choose the texture and then right click everywhere else you wish to place it. When you're happy with that, click on the dropper to disengage. You may have noticed that on this model, created on Plans Express 2020, the system allows you to colour and texture each wall segment separately, as opposed to applying the same colour to all walls, which we saw on the previous model created with an older version of Plans Express in the 3rd video in this series. Let's now paint the door. Choose a colour. Try a salmon one. Maybe a black one. We can apply a finish to that. Let's go for a glossy finish. Drag it onto the door. Again, if we render that, you can now see that the door has got a shiny finish reflecting the adjacent background. Save that as a snap if you wish. After a while, you will start to discover there are a number of colours and textures that you wish to reuse periodically. You can save those to a library for reuse. Right click on the texture and add material to the archive. Give the texture a name. And add the texture to your folder. I've previously called mine Favourite Textures using the Create button. Click Add. Texture is saved. Repeat the process for the render. With the Materials tab selected, we can then go to the star and it shows us all our favourite textures. These ones are the ones I've done previously. This is my favourite one, so if I wanted to change that back to blue, I can simply drag it back from there, or I can use the dropper command again. The next thing you might like to do is to add your own background. Click on the Backgrounds tab, locate the User Defined tab, select either a custom image, or a custom 3D image. Drag it onto the drawing, then edit the picture. Locate a suitable picture. In this case I've got one saved here. Click open, click OK, and the image is introduced. Take a snapshot. You may now want to use your outputs to create some front and rear models and perhaps internal shots. You may, however, also want to create some interesting images such as 3D floor plans, exploded views and white block models to set you apart from the competition and which can help your client to understand their design. Let's do that using some of the techniques we have explored in the previous lessons. So, to start creating the first interesting model, the first thing we do in Plans Express is to switch off the external walls. Refresh the model, press Photo Visualizer. The model then appears in Photo Visualizer using the last known image. If you look carefully, you can see it corresponds to this image here, complete with the background. With this type of image, you're probably better to work with a white background. Click on Background, drag the white onto it. You can then explore the image. If you want to take a snapshot of it, you can render it first to see whether you're happy with it. Take a snapshot. If that's okay, you can then save it as a photograph using the snapshot process as usual. Let's see what happens if we drag other snapshots onto the screen. If I select the rear image, you can see that we have the same basic geometry, but of course the external walls are now hidden. You can obviously render that again if you want, or save it as a snapshot. The next image we're going to have a look at is a 3D floor plan. Save the image and return to Plans Express. To create a floor plan, using the visibility tabs, first turn on the external walls, then select the level you wish to view. So I'm going to turn off these 4 floors. Press refresh. Check that you're happy with the image. Perhaps you want to take off that roof. Roof light, refresh the image. When you're happy with that, press the 3D Photo Visualizer button. Once again, the image has acquired the previous geometry. Position the floor plan as you want. Once again, the background's probably better in white. Render it, see if you're happy with it. If necessary, you can adjust the lighting. Let's pause that. Edit the lighting position. That's probably better. Once you're happy with it, save the snapshot. Render it in the usual way. The next thing I want to show you is how to create an exploded view. Save it. Close down. To create the exploded view, first of all, we need to turn all the levels back on. And then to adjust the various level heights. Double click on the first level and add 3000 millimeters to that. That becomes 5550. Click OK and add 6000 onto the upper level. It becomes 10875. Click OK, refresh the drawing. Then need to switch back on the roof. Show the roof lights. Press refresh. Once you're happy with the image, decide whether you want to have the external walls or not. Let's turn them off. Press refresh. Press the 3D Photo Visualizer button. After a few seconds, the image appears in Photo Visualizer. Set the model. Check if you're happy with the lighting and so on. Create a snapshot in the usual way. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to create a white block model of a house. Save the file. Close it. Reset the model by putting the levels back to their original levels. The easiest way of doing this is probably to use the undo command. Ctrl Z if you wish. Refresh the model. Add back the walls. And you're ready to export the model. Once again the model reappears. Now to create your block model, it's simply a question of dragging your white colour onto the drawing. If you wish, you can use the paint selector, then right click on all the different areas you wish to colour white. Once you've textured all the walls, you can then play with the lighting in the usual way to give you the lighting effect that you wish. Press render, save it as a snapshot, and publish in the usual way using the snapshot process. And that's about it really. No doubt there are lots of other things that you can do. Have a play around with it. And if you wish, you can send in some of your designs to us. We'd love to see them. Thank you.